Hey Internet, Dave here with a TF2 video about 5 really dumb things I did as a newcomer to Team Fortress 2. Without further ado, here we go. Number 1, I used to play Spy. I know that's not really a dumb thing in and of itself. I know there's a lot of really good Spy players out there. And I know there's a lot of really good content creators who like Spy a lot. And I really like playing Spy. But I am just so awful at playing Spy, especially when I started, and I thought I was so good. That's the problem. Like, that's the huge problem with me playing Spy at the very beginning. Instead of learning, like, the fundamentals of playing Spy, like, how to manage your cloak, and where to decloak, and, like, all this other stuff that you should be learning whenever you first start playing the game, I just decided I was too good for that, apparently, and just decided to play Spy like a fool. Like, I would just die in the most ridiculous ways every time I used to play Spy. I remember one time I was on Dust Bowl, and I was using the Dead Ringer and the Big Earner, that's what it was called. Okay. I used to use the Big Earner back when it was complete, well, not complete garbage, but, you know, it wasn't that great. I used to use that a lot because I thought it looked cool, and I thought it was a fun weapon to use. But little did I know how completely useless I was being to my team, because I was literally just that extra spy on the team that had like 10 deaths and maybe 1 kill, and it was by accident. So, on to my next point here. I used to use the rocket jumper on a 100% crit server for months. So this is like really early TF2. Not like 2007, but, you know, early in when I started playing. I used to go on this 100% crit server on like a purple map. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but it was like CP Orange, kind of. Except there was like a maze in the middle. There was like a bridge. Instead of like the really tall tower. It was still a 5 CP map that played like garbage. But it was fun, like, to just practice my aim and all that stuff. Until I decided that the rocket jumper was a good weapon to use for like a good 3 months. I literally just decided one day, you know what, I'm just gonna use the rocket jumper, the shotgun, and I think it was it wasn't the market gardener, because that already crit. It was the escape plan, I think. And I used to just go on this crit server. Like, it was the same server too. I had it favorited at the time, so I knew exactly what server I was going into. I'd play with the same people, and nobody called me out for using the rocket jumper for months. Like, are you kidding me? How do you not tell a guy whenever he's using like the worst weapon to use on a crit server that he's using the worst weapon on a crit server for months? I mean, I didn't see anyone talk about it in chat. No, I had voice chat enabled at the time, so nobody told me, hey, don't use that weapon. It does no damage. Like, I just thought I was terrible with my shots at the time. Even when I get a direct hit, I just thought I was lagging really badly. So, none of my hits registered at the time. Oh, not even at the time, and now, because the weapon doesn't do any damage still. Like, that's not changed. If you hit someone with it, it's not going to do anything. And then I decided to read the stats, and I was just so dumbfounded. Like, you could hear the facepalm. Like, you could hear my facepalm from like a mile away. Another kind of like dumb thing that I did was I fell for this prank by a Spy YouTuber. Like, once I started to actually try and get good at Spy, I was looking up tutorials, right? That's what you do on YouTube. You look up tutorials most of the time. And I was looking up a tutorial for how to better play Spy, just a general one. Wasn't looking for anything specific. And one of the YouTubers that I watched gave some random advice about, as engineer, to place your buildings facing corners and facing walls. And, like, this was during a Spy tutorial, and I took it at face value and decided to try it. and just kind of like did that with mini sentries and like level 1 and 2 buildings. So I would just be that engineer who just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna place my buildings facing this wall today. Ain't gonna be useful to my team. And that's how it went. I fell for it. Like, it took me years to unlearn this. And I don't know why I ingrained it so like deeply into my engineer play. Because I play engineer a lot, and I'm really, well, not really good. I'm not as good as like the pros or whatever. But, you know, I'm okay at engineer. Like, okay with like a little tiny little plus on it. If my engineering was like a hotel rating, it'd be like 4.5 stars, you know, like 4.5. It's not 5. It's definitely not 5, but it's like 4.5 stars. But yeah, I fell for this prank for like the first like 6 months to a year of me playing Team Fortress 2. And looking back on it, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Did I really do that? Are you serious? And apparently I was serious, because I used to think, okay, that's a good idea, I'm gonna do that. Another kind of dumb thing that I did was I, to this day, haven't disabled voice chat until people start being idiots. I know that like a lot of content creators like to just turn it off entirely because, you know, people are idiots and will abuse voice chat to like harass people and, you know, generally not be nice people. But in my experience, I haven't really seen that a whole lot. I've definitely seen it, but I haven't seen it a whole lot. So it makes sense for me to keep it enabled. But like at first, whenever I first started playing TF2, it just, man, it was toxic. Like, I was playing on community servers and like 24/7 Dust Bowl, 2 Fort, Orange, all the variations of Orange servers, like 100% crits. And jeez, those servers were like really toxic, especially to new players, because like I didn't know what I was doing. So I would like equip terrible weapons for a crit server, and I would just like, as soon as I would die, people would like shit talk me, and I'm just like, what did I do? Like, I just got this game, bro. That kind of brings me to my last point here. I used to think, like, this is another dumb thing that I used to do, is that I used to think the community servers were the only way to play the game. Before casual, there was quick play, and for the longest time, I didn't realize that you could like join a Valve server through quick play, and you didn't need to go through that clunky community server thing to do it. So I thought that the community servers were pretty much all that was left of this game whenever I started playing, because that's all I would see whenever I would open up the servers button. I think that's what it was. I'm fairly certain it used to be like a big old servers button that you would click on underneath quick play. Of course, now we have the more noob-friendly casual system, which is really hard to mess up, because it's literally just, hey, do you want to play on a Valve server, or do you want to play in a community server? It actually tells you now. Although, I can't remember if it told you back then. I'm probably just remembering wrong because of nostalgia or whatever. But I used to think the community servers were like the way to play the game. I thought it was like the best way to get the most out of the game. And I guess to some extent I was right, but it's not like the experience the developers intended, which is what I like to do. Like, I love to play games the way the developers actually intended you to play them, and sometimes I'll maybe like mod a game to make that experience better. But I like to stick with like what the developers intended for the game. And whenever I actually discover that you can play the game normally without like crits or randomizers or like I mean, new players now are probably looking at like wacky maps as like a trend, but like 100% crit servers were like the thing for me. And man, that was crazy. Like, like every weapon crit, so everyone just kind of like went splash damage classes or went sniper for some reason. I'd always see a sniper out on the map, and he would never hit his shots, unless I was playing sniper, of course, because I'm the best sniper. But it was just so strange to me whenever I finally discovered that you can actually play on a Valve server. It was just such a strange thing to me. I don't know. I guess like most people, whenever they start playing TF2, the first thing they do is they discover that you can play on Valve servers, because that's like, I don't know, it's a smart thing to do, right? It's the first button on the play thing. But no, I decided to go to the servers tab and look for like the first map I could find that wasn't a Valve server and didn't come with the game, so I had to wait like 30 minutes to download it on my internet, which was like really bad and still is really bad. But yeah, that was 5 dumb things I did in my early TF2 days. So I just kind of rambled on for about a few minutes here. I have no idea how long this is after post. But anyway, if you like the video, you know, do the do. I'm not your mom. You do whatever you want to do, but you know, if you want to see more of this stuff, you know what to do.